social media is a double-edged sword. And this was what became evident to me also in the sociology of culture course I was teaching, because we were looking in that course to how meanings are produced and reproduced in American society. And we looked at three different contexts. We looked at the Kennedy era, the Reagan era, and of course the Kardashian era. And what was fascinating, and of course how they interacted with neoliberalism each era, of course the Kennedys, that was the era where television became very important for the first time as a medium. And that way all the politicians were able to reach the households where we at the time, of course, had a fixed television with the whole family sitting around and watching things. And people argue that Kennedy was able to defeat Nixon because he was much more photogenic and communicative and progressive in terms of using technology. When you see, it is therefore no accident that after that, during the Reagan era, you have basically a former actor, because he too was able to use the medium extremely effectively. But what is fascinating and what we haven't yet understood is that at least with television, you had the mediation of the message, so that if a politician said something, there were people who were there, the talking heads, so to speak, who interpreted the message for you. But now what happens, of course, with social media is that we are able to take the intermediary out, so that it is the person, wherever they may be in the world or wherever they may be in the United States, suddenly having full agency, full power in deciding what kind of information they want. And that makes things so mobile and at the same time so volatile. That even though that on the one side we thought gave everybody a lot of freedom, at the same time, of course, those with a lot of power are therefore able, communicative power, are able to manipulate things to their advantage. And that is probably why, among all the candidates, the fact that now President Trump was able to use his Twitter to think and say whatever he thought on a daily basis, his access to social media enabled him, I think, to bypass and demonstrate to us how he was able to use his power, his economic power, and then how he was able to use that economic power to have access to TV media. And from then there, he was able to translate his access to TV media to social media. And it was that process that I think demonstrated to us how those who are privileged enough to have been accessing social media for such a long time have a much better chance at controlling what goes on. And as a consequence, the downside of it is that the dark side of it is that then that person, because of his populism, is able to get much more coverage than an expert or a professional who spends a lot of time analyzing knowledge. And therefore, you are going with the practical experiences of this person who has no in-depth knowledge on anything, basically dominating over others who have the expertise but who have been bypassed by this populism brought upon by the social media.